My daughter-in-law banned me from holding my grandbaby, but the doctor called me instead of her. The cruelest pain is being denied the grandchild you've waited your whole life to hold. The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and fresh flowers. I stood at the doorway, clutching a hand-knitted baby blanket I'd worked on for months. My son Tom sat beside the bed where his wife, Amanda, cradled their newborn daughter. "Can I hold her?" I whispered, my voice trembling with excitement. Amanda's head snapped up, her eyes cold and hard.
No.
The single word hit me like a slap. I stepped closer, confused.
I'm sorry.
Amanda pulled the baby tighter against her chest, her voice rising. "You don't get to hold my baby. Ever." Tom shifted uncomfortably but said nothing, his gaze fixed on the floor. "Amanda, please, I'm her grandmother." "I don't care what you are." She cut me off, her tone venomous. "You're unfit. Stay away from my daughter." The nurse by the monitor glanced away awkwardly. Another visitor in the room pretended to check her phone. I stood frozen, the blanket slipping from my hands as my entire world collapsed around me. I couldn't process what was happening. "Tom." I turned to my son, pleading. "Tommy, please. Just let me hold her for 1 minute. 1 minute." He finally looked up, but his expression was conflicted, weak. "Mom, maybe later would be better?" Amanda scoffed. "There is no later. She's not touching my baby, period. I don't trust her." "Not trust me." My voice broke. I raised Tom. "I've never hurt anyone. What have I done?" "You're controlling," Amanda snapped. "Always interfering. Always judging me. I won't let you do that to my daughter." It wasn't true. I'd tried so hard to give them space, to be supportive without overstepping. But Amanda had been cold from the day they'd married, finding fault in everything I did. "I've never been anything but kind to you," I said softly. Amanda's laugh was bitter. "Kind? You're manipulative." "Tom doesn't see it, but I do." The baby made a small sound, and I realized I might never get to hear that sound up close. Other visitors began filing in, Amanda's mother, her sister, friends from their church. Each person got to hold baby Sophia, cooing over her tiny fingers and perfect face. I stood in the corner, invisible and humiliated. Amanda's mother shot me a triumphant look as she cradled her granddaughter. "Oh, she's just perfect, Amanda. You did so well." "Thanks, Mom," Amanda replied sweetly, a stark contrast to how she'd spoken to me moments before. The nurse returned to check vitals, glancing at me with what looked like pity. I couldn't bear it anymore. "I should go," I whispered, though no one was listening. I picked up the blanket from where it had fallen, folded it carefully, and set it on the chair by the door. Tom followed me into the hallway. "Mom, wait. Don't," I said, tears streaming down my face. "If you can't stand up for me in there, don't follow me out here." I left the hospital empty-handed and empty-hearted, wondering if I'd ever see my granddaughter again. The days that followed were torture. I called Tom repeatedly, but he barely answered. When he did, his responses were short and evasive. "She needs time, Mom. Just give her space." "Space? Tom, I haven't done anything wrong. Why is she treating me this way?" "It's her child, her rules," he repeated, like he'd memorized the script. "But I'm your mother. Doesn't that count for something?" Silence on the other end. "Then I have to go. The baby's crying." He hung up. I sat in my empty house, surrounded by baby gifts I'd collected over months, clothes, toys, books I'd planned to read to Sophia. All useless now. Friends from my book club tried to console me. "She'll come around," they promised. New mothers are just protective. But I knew better. This wasn't protection. This was cruelty, deliberate and calculated. Amanda had decided I was the enemy, and Tom was too weak to fight for me. I'd never felt so powerless, so completely shut out of something that should have been joyful. 2 weeks after the birth, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. "Hello? Mrs. Harrison? This is Dr. Patel from Riverside Pediatrics. I'm calling about Sophia Harrison." My heart stopped. "Is she okay? What's wrong?" "She's fine," Dr. Patel assured quickly. But we have her 2-week checkup scheduled tomorrow at 10, and I wanted to confirm with you since you're listed as the emergency contact. I blinked, confused. I'm what? You're listed as the primary emergency contact on all medical forms. I assumed you'd want to be aware of the appointment, especially given some concerns we need to discuss. Concerns? What concerns? And why am I the emergency contact? Shouldn't that be Amanda? Dr. Patel paused. According to our records, Thomas Harrison listed you when he filled out the intake forms. Is this incorrect? My mind raced. Tom had listed me, not Amanda? Something was happening that I didn't understand, but for the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of hope. The next morning, I drove to Riverside Pediatrics, my hands shaking on the steering wheel. I expected to find Amanda there, expected another confrontation. Instead, the receptionist smiled warmly. Mrs. Harrison, Dr. Patel is ready for you. But where's my daughter-in-law? She's not here yet. You're the listed contact, so Dr. Patel wanted to speak with you first. I followed the nurse back, feeling like I was in a dream. Dr. Patel was a kind-looking man in his 50s, with wire-rimmed glasses and a gentle demeanor. Mrs. Harrison, thank you for coming. I wanted to clarify the contact situation before we proceed. I don't understand, I admitted. Why am I listed instead of Sophia's mother? Dr. Patel pulled up a file on his computer. According to the paperwork submitted 3 months ago during prenatal registration, your son Thomas listed you as primary emergency contact and medical decision-maker in case of emergency. 3 months ago. I repeated. That was before Sophia was born, before the hospital incident. Why would he do that? Dr. Patel's expression was carefully neutral. That's something you'd need to discuss with your son. There's more, Dr. Patel continued. I called you specifically because we need detailed family medical history. There are some indicators that suggest Sophia may have inherited a genetic condition. Ice flooded my veins. What condition? It's too early to confirm, but there are markers for a metabolic disorder that runs in families. We need comprehensive information about both sides, any history of similar issues, childhood illnesses, developmental concerns. Amanda doesn't know about this? Not yet. I wanted to gather complete information first. Your son mentioned you had extensive family records. It was true. After my sister died from a rare genetic condition in childhood, I'd become obsessive about tracking family medical history. I had detailed records going back 3 generations. I have everything documented, I told him. Birth records, death certificates, medical files. My family has history of enzyme deficiencies. Dr. Patel leaned forward intently. That's exactly what we're looking for. The knowledge settled over me like a weight. I had information that might save my granddaughter's life. If you're enjoying this story so far, please take a moment to like this story and also hit the subscribe button to get notified of our new series. For the next hour, I went through every detail I could remember. My sister Caroline, who died at 7 from an undiagnosed metabolic disorder. My uncle who'd had similar symptoms. The genetic testing I'd done years ago that identified me as a carrier.
Dr.
Patel took notes. Patel's name flashed on the caller ID. Mrs. Harrison, I'm at the hospital. Sophia was brought in with a high fever. Her parents are on their way, but I wanted you to know. Is she okay? I was already out of bed, pulling on clothes. We're running tests now. Given her potential condition, we need to be cautious. Can you come? I'm leaving now. I drove through empty streets, praying silently. The hospital was eerily quiet at this hour. Dr. Patel met me in the pediatric ward. She's stable, but we're monitoring closely. The parents arrived 10 minutes ago. I followed him to Sophia's room, steeling myself for confrontation. Amanda sat in a chair beside the crib, looking exhausted and frightened. Tom stood by the window. When I entered, Amanda's head shot up. What is she doing here? Dr. Patel spoke calmly. I called Mrs. Harrison. She's the listed emergency contact. That's wrong. That needs to be fixed. Right now, Dr. Patel interrupted gently. Let's focus on Sophia. We can discuss paperwork later. Amanda glared at me with pure hatred, but the baby's medical needs took priority. Dr. Patel explained that Sophia's fever had spiked dangerously, and combined with the metabolic markers they'd identified, they were being extremely cautious. The family history Mrs. Harrison provided last week helped us know what to test for immediately, he added. Tom looked at me, surprised. You gave them medical history? Dr. Patel asked me to. I have detailed records of genetic conditions on my side of the family. Amanda stood abruptly. Why wasn't I told about this? I try to tell you, I said quietly. You hung up on me. The tension was thick enough to cut. Dr. Patel cleared his throat. Perhaps we should focus on Sophia right now. A nurse came to adjust the four. Sophia whimpered, and instinctively, I moved closer. Amanda blocked me. Don't touch her. Amanda, I just want to help. You've done enough. This is probably your fault anyway, these genetic problems. Tom finally spoke. Amanda, that's not fair. Mom's information helped the doctors. But Amanda wasn't listening. She paced the small room like a caged animal, her fear manifesting as anger directed at me. This is what you wanted, isn't it? To force your way in, to make yourself important. I don't want anything except to see my granddaughter healthy, I replied, keeping my voice steady despite my pounding heart. You're toxic, Amanda hissed. Tom told me how controlling you were when he was growing up, always hovering, always interfering. That's not true, Tom said weakly, but he didn't defend me further. Dr. Patel stepped between us. I understand emotions are high, but I need everyone to remain calm. Sophia needs a peaceful environment. The nurse returned with test results. Dr. Patel reviewed them, his expression serious. The enzyme levels confirm our suspicions. Sophia does have the metabolic condition, but because we caught it early, we can start treatment immediately. Amanda sank into the chair, tears streaming. My baby. Tom moved to comfort her, leaving me standing alone by the door. But I noticed Dr. Patel glance at me with what looked like respect and gratitude. Over the next few days, word spread through our small community. My friends from church, the book club, even neighbors I barely knew, everyone heard about Amanda's cruelty. She wouldn't even let you hold the baby? My friend Patricia asked, scandalized. And then blamed you for genetic problems? The sympathy was overwhelming, but also uncomfortable. I didn't want to be the victim in a public drama. But Amanda noticed the shifting opinions. At the grocery store, people who'd been friendly to her suddenly seemed distant. At church, conversation stopped when she approached. She knew I was gaining sympathy, and it infuriated her. She called me one afternoon, her voice tight. You've been spreading lies about me. I haven't said anything, Amanda. People have eyes. They saw how you treated me at the hospital. You're turning everyone against me, making me look like the villain when you're the one trying to steal my daughter. I'm not trying to steal anyone. I just want to be a grandmother. But she'd already hung up. Tom called later that evening, sounding exhausted. Mom, Amanda wants me to ask you to stop talking to people about what's happening. I'm not talking to people. They're asking me questions, and I'm being honest. Well, she feels like you're making her look bad. Tom, she banned me from holding my granddaughter in a hospital room full of witnesses. I didn't make her look bad. She did that herself. He sighed heavily. I know this is hard for everyone. No, I interrupted, my patience finally snapping. It's not hard for everyone. It's devastating for me. I've been nothing but supportive, and your wife treats me like I'm dangerous. When are you going to stand up for me? Mom, it's complicated. It's not complicated at all. Either you support your mother or you don't. Right now, it seems like you don't. I hung up, shaking. But I'd meant every word. Dr. Patel called me the next morning. Mrs. Harrison, I wanted you to know that Sophia's treatment is working well. Your medical history made all the difference. His words were vindication I desperately needed, proof that I wasn't just a meddling grandmother, but essential to my granddaughter's care. The weeks passed in a strange limbo. Sophia remained under careful medical supervision, and Dr. Patel continued calling me with updates. Each time, it reinforced my position as someone important to her care. Amanda tried demanding changes to the medical forms, but legally she needed Tom's signature to remove me. And Tom, caught between his mother and his wife, kept delaying. I need to think about it, he'd tell Amanda. Maybe having Mom on there is good backup. Backup. Amanda would scream. I'm her mother. I don't need backup. But Tom's hesitation spoke volumes. Privately, I think he was relieved to have me involved, even if he couldn't admit it. One afternoon, Tom visited me alone. The doctor told me what you did, providing all that family medical history. Amanda's family didn't have any of that information. I'm glad I could help, I said simply. He looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time in months. Sophia, she seems calmer with you than with Amanda sometimes. The admission hung in the air between us, dangerous and undeniable. Sophia's first birthday approached, and I waited for an invitation that never came. Instead, I heard from Patricia that Amanda was planning an elaborate party, a princess theme with a rented bounce house and professional photographers. You're not invited? Patricia asked, shocked. Apparently not. The hurt was sharp and fresh. I'd missed so much already. First smiles, first words, countless precious moments. Now I'd miss her first birthday too. I bought a gift anyway. A beautiful handmade wooden rocking horse I'd commissioned from a local craftsman. I had it delivered to their house with a card. To my darling Sophia, happy first birthday. Love always, Grandma Mary. 2 days after the party, I saw photos on social media. Sophia in a pink dress, surrounded by balloons and cake. Amanda's mother holding her, Amanda's sister feeding her cake. No mention of me, no acknowledgement of my gift. Then I drove past their house and saw it, my beautiful rocking horse, sitting in the trash at the curb. The message was clear. I was garbage to them, disposable and unwanted. But Amanda had made a critical miscalculation. She'd been so focused on excluding me that she hadn't realized the legal implications of the medical forms. When she finally consulted a lawyer about removing me from Sophia's medical records, she discovered she couldn't do it unilaterally. Tom's signature was required, and he'd been stalling for months. Amanda cornered him with an ultimatum. You sign those papers, or we have serious problems. I'll think about it, Tom repeated.
No.
You'll do it now. She pushed the papers toward him, but he refused to pick up the pen. Amanda, what if something happens and they can't reach you? What if they need my mom's medical history again? I'll provide whatever they need, but you don't have it. You don't know about Caroline or Uncle Wesley or any of the genetic issues. Mom has records going back decades. Amanda's face turned red. Are you saying you trust your mother more than me? I'm saying we should keep our options open. It wasn't a strong defense, but it was something. The first time Tom hadn't immediately caved to her demands. If you're enjoying this story so far, please take a moment to like this story and also hit the subscribe button to get notified of our new series. 2 weeks later, Sophia developed a severe respiratory infection. Dr. Patel called me at 6 in the morning. Mrs. Harrison, Sophia's being admitted to the hospital. I wanted you to know. I arrived within 30 minutes, still in my pajamas under a coat. The pediatric floor was quiet, nurses moving efficiently through their morning routines. Dr. Patel met me outside Sophia's room. She's stable, but we're being cautious. Given her metabolic condition, any illness can escalate quickly. Can I see her? He nodded. Of course. Your family. Inside, Sophia lay in a small hospital bed, oxygen tube in her nose, monitors beeping steadily. She looked so tiny, so vulnerable. My heart ached. I approached slowly, reaching through the bed rails to gently touch her hand. She stirred slightly, and I began humming softly, the same lullaby I'd sung to Tom when he was little. Sophia's breathing seemed to slow, becoming less labored. That's when Amanda burst through the door, Tom trailing behind her. Get away from my daughter, Amanda screamed, loud enough to bring nurses running. Mrs. Henderson, please lower your voice, a nurse said firmly. We have other patients. Amanda ignored her, pointing at me accusingly. Why is she here before me? How did she even know Sophia was admitted? Dr. Patel stepped forward. I called Mrs. Harrison. She's the listed emergency contact. This is insane. Amanda turned to Tom. Did you know about this? Tom looked miserable. I didn't change the forms. I kept meaning to. You kept meaning to? Amanda's voice was shrill. Your mother has been undermining me for a year, and you've been helping her. Amanda, that's not fair, I said quietly. I've only ever tried to help Sophia. Help? You're trying to replace me. You want to be her mother instead of her grandmother. The nurse intervened again. Everyone needs to calm down, or I'll have to ask you all to leave. Sophia needs peace and quiet. Amanda glared at me with pure hatred but lowered her voice. This ends today. Tom, you're signing those papers, or I'm taking Sophia and leaving. Tom looked between us, torn and terrified, unable to choose. Dr. Patel pulled me aside while Tom tried to calm Amanda. Mrs. Harrison, I want you to know something. When I arrived this morning, Sophia was quite distressed. But when you started humming to her, her vitals improved. Her breathing regulated, her heart rate steadied. Really? Really? I've been doing this for 30 years, and there's something to be said for the healing power of a calm, loving presence. You provided that. His words meant everything. Thank you for telling me. He hesitated, then added, Between you and me, I've observed your daughter-in-law with Sophia. She's tense, anxious, and baby sensed that. You, on the other hand, exude calm and warmth. Sophia responds to it. I just love her, I said simply. I know, and it shows. Later, a night nurse who'd been observing the family dynamics approached me discreetly. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but that baby settles better with you than with her mother. I've seen it all day. Other staff were noticing what Tom had finally admitted. Sophia was calmer, happier, safer with me. Amanda's fury reached a breaking point. She scheduled a family meeting at their house, inviting her mother and sister for support. When I arrived, the atmosphere was hostile. This needs to be resolved, Amanda announced. It's time for Mary to accept that she's not Sophia's mother. I am. No one's saying otherwise, I replied calmly. But I am her grandmother, and I have a right to be in her life. You have the rights I give you, Amanda shot back. And right now I'm giving you none. Tom, tell her. Tom sat silent, staring at his hands. Tom, Amanda pressed. Tell your mother she needs to stay away, or I'm leaving and taking Sophia with me. The ultimatum hung in the air. Amanda's mother chimed in. Honestly, Mary, maybe it's time to step back. You've caused enough drama. I've caused drama? I couldn't help the bitter laugh. I've done nothing but try to love my granddaughter while being blocked at every turn. You've been manipulative, Amanda's sister added, using medical forms to force yourself into their lives. Those forms exist because Tom put me there, I said firmly. Ask him why. Tom finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. Because I was scared. Everyone turned to him. What? Amanda demanded. Tom looked up, tears in his eyes. 3 months before Sophia was born, you and I had that huge fight. You said maybe we should separate, maybe we'd made a mistake getting married. Amanda's face paled. That was just, you left for 3 days, Tom continued. I didn't know if you were coming back. I was terrified I'd be raising our baby alone. So, I put Mom as the emergency contact because I knew, no matter what, she'd be there. The room fell silent. I was going to change it, Tom admitted. But then Sophia was born, and I saw how Mom could help, how much she knew about the genetic stuff. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't change it. Amanda's voice was dangerously quiet. What are you saying? I'm saying Mom stays on those forms. She's saved Sophia's life with the information she provided. She calms Sophia when she's upset. She deserves to be a grandmother. For the first time in a year, my son was choosing me. Amanda stood abruptly. Then I'm leaving. Amanda, don't, Tom started.
No.
You've made your choice. Your mother over your wife. She grabbed her purse, her mother and sister following. At the door, she turned back. When you're ready to be a real husband instead of a mama's boy, call me. The door slammed. Tom and I sat in stunned silence. "I'm sorry, Mom," he whispered. "For all of it. For not standing up for you. For letting her treat you that way. You didn't deserve any of it." I moved to sit beside him, putting my arm around his shoulders like I had when he was little. "You did the right thing, Tom. Finally. But what if she doesn't come back? What if I lose Sophia? She'll come back. She loves you and Sophia. She just needs time to realize she can't control everything." 2 days later, Dr. Patel called with news. He'd written an official letter for the court, should it be needed, documenting my essential role in Sophia's medical care. "You may have just given me the evidence I need if this goes to court," Tom said gratefully. A week of silence passed. Then Amanda returned, her mother conspicuously absent. She looked exhausted, defeated. "I talked to my therapist," she admitted. "She helped me understand some things. I've been controlling. And unfair to you, Mary." I nodded, waiting. "I was jealous," Amanda continued, her voice small. "Tom talks about you like you're perfect. His perfect mother who sacrificed everything. I felt like I could never measure up, like you'd always be comparing me and finding me lacking." "I never thought that," I said honestly. "I just wanted to be part of Sophia's life." "I know. I see that now." And Tom showed me Dr. Patel's letter. "What you did, the medical history, the calm presence, Sophia needs you. I was wrong to try to take that away." Tom reached for her hand. "Can we start over? All of us." Amanda looked at me. "I can't promise I'll be perfect. I'm still learning to be a mother, and maybe I'm a little sensitive about criticism. I'll try not to hover," I offered. "And I'll try not to shut you out." It wasn't a perfect resolution, but it was honest, and it was a beginning. The following Sunday, they invited me for lunch. When I arrived, Tom met me at the door with Sophia in his arms. "Mom, someone wants to say hi to Grandma." He handed her to me, the first time I'd held her since she was born. Sophia looked up at me with Tom's eyes, and I felt something inside me heal. She reached for my face with tiny fingers, and I kissed them gently. "Hello, sweet girl. Grandma's here now." Amanda watched from the doorway. She didn't smile, but she didn't protest either. As I sat on the couch, Sophia nestled against me, her little body relaxing into mine. Tom and Amanda sat across from us, and I saw Tom take a photo. "For your records," he said with a small smile. That afternoon, we talked about everything, boundaries, expectations, how we'd all share in raising Sophia. It wasn't always comfortable, but it was necessary. As I left, Amanda stopped me at the door. "Thank you," she said quietly, "for not giving up, for being there when Sophia needed you." "I'll always be here," I promised.
For all of you.
Driving home, I realized this wasn't revenge or victory. It was redemption, not just for me, but for all of us. Amanda had learned she didn't have to be perfect to be a good mother. Tom had learned to set boundaries and stand firm. And I had learned that sometimes love means fighting, not just accepting. Sophia would grow up surrounded by imperfect people who loved her fiercely. And really, that's all any child needs.